It's Monday, and like so many days, this is how we start the news today. Showers, storms, parts of East Denver getting some small hail and heavy rain. You can see it look like a river running down that street. A chance for more of that hail as the storms are moving into Denver. And up north, well, we're talking about serious flooding threats over some of the fire burn scars with a flood advisory in effect for another hour. And some minor flooding is expected. We are hearing thunder right here downtown right now. Dark clouds around Denver. The storm's headed this way. Meteorologist Kathy Sabin can hear the thunder too.
That's exactly right. You guys, it was so nice to see the sun after a cloudy, cool weekend and all of that rain. But that sun adds fuel to thunderstorms, and now some of that convective activity producing the hail that you mentioned and some pretty good rain right over downtown Denver just as the evening drive gets underway. Not everybody is seeing the rain and the hail, and these storms are not severe as of yet. With that abundant sunshine early in the day, temperatures warmed into the 70s. We're in the upper 60s now. A lot of moisture coming in. Most of the scattered thunderstorm activity has held in the foothills and higher terrain areas for much of the day. And just in the last half hour, we're starting to see a couple of those push east off the foothills into the metro area. Glendale, there's a flood advisory in effect for that area as they've already seen over an inch of rain. Denver also in a flood advisory through 7:30, portions of Jefferson County. These storms are just not moving quick enough. We're already getting some rain reports in, well over an inch of rain outside of South Glen, Highlands Ranch, third of an inch north of Roxborough. Aurora coming in with almost an inch of rain, Cherry Hills Village and areas over North Denver as well. In the burn scar areas, including East Troublesome, the Calwood burn scar, and areas in and around the Cameron Peak burn scar, slow moving storms already dropping heavy rain on saturated soils will create some flooding issues, mudslide issues tonight. Denver included in a flood advisory now through 7 o'clock due to this storm, which is just kind of sitting right over the city. Futurecasts will show that it starts to move out. We clear out tonight. We wake up and get lots of sunshine tomorrow. It'll be a little warmer, a little drier tomorrow, but the thunderstorm threat never really goes away over the next few days. So coming up in Maine weather, another check of the radar, where the flash flood threat is this evening. The severe weather threat relatively low, but not for long. We're going to explain all of that in Maine weather. Tom and Kim after the break.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Well, today it's been going on all day at the state capitol. A group of mothers turning their anger into action.
They're calling on Governor Polis to ban guns in Colorado. We've been talking about this effort for the last month. Beginning at 5 this morning, we saw women gather on the Capitol lawn. The group Here for the Kids say they'll return every day until their demands are met. They want Democratic Governor Jared Polis to sign an executive order, something he says he can't do. 9 News anchor Alexander Lewis has been following this movement, and she joins us from the Capitol. Alex, you're getting in the rain right now.
Yes, well, that rain cloud, Kathy said, was sitting over the heart of the city. We can confirm that is accurate. The sky opened up about 30 minutes ago, and it was just pouring down rain. And so the demonstration behind me scattered pretty quickly. We were here practically most of the day, and I would say at the heart of this protest, by looking at it with our own eye, it viewed to be a couple of thousand people here. Far cry from the 25,000 organizers boastfully said they would have over the last 7 weeks of planning. When I asked them about that directly, they essentially told me most of the people who came here were from out of town. They were very disappointed and frankly surprised that a lot of Coloradans didn't show up for their cause.
I flew into Denver from New York because I refuse to normalize what is happening in our country.
The reasons are as varied as their home states.
As a single parent, we have enough challenges to, constantly fear for our kids' lives and our own. We don't need that extra stress.
But the message is the same.
Seeing this and being around the energy of people who are really pushing for change is making me breathe a little easier that it is possible.
2,000 women sat for hours with hopes of making history. The ask, Governor Polis ban guns in the state and buy them back through an executive order. The answer, no.
What is specifically being asked for would not be illegal use of the powers of the governor.
Governor Polis says an executive order like the group is asking for can only be used under a disaster emergency declaration.
We are in an emergency situation. There are more guns than people. There are more shootings and more deaths than the number of days this year.
Oh, I never thought he would do it today. Yeah, that's why we're coming back tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Despite Polis calling Here for the Kids plan unconstitutional, they say the leader they need could still be within him.
Eric Jermaine Lewis died in Hurst, Texas.
7 weeks of planning, 2,000 moms, 12 hours of protest and counting led to one unsigned executive order.
I think it's a process, and change is always slow. It takes a long time to make a difference. We just need to keep doing it.
Any disappointment that I would have, anything that would tell me, oh, it's not exactly what we hoped for, is definitely quelled by the fact that I know more Coloradans are on their way, and I know that we are in this movement together.
The plan was to stay here until 8 p.m. and the rain very quickly quelled those plans as we saw people scatter quickly here. But we're told they'll be back tomorrow, the day after that. The plan is to start at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so not quite as early, and go until 5 p.m. They believe they still have some hope in this fight.
And Alex, as you said, they say more people are coming, and this is something, just a few weeks in the making. So they've been getting the message out as best as they could.
They did. They went door to door, canvassing neighborhoods from Boulder to Lakewood, all over Denver. And they said they got a lot of people they believed would turn up today, and that just didn't happen.
All right. Well, thank you. Alex, try to stay dry out there. Thank you. Victims hurt in last year's shooting at an LGBTQ club in Colorado Springs are planning to sue the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. There are 10 victims planning to sue. Some of the family of the 5 people killed in the attack. They want $20 million. They say the Sheriff's Office failed to use the state's red flag law to temporarily take the guns from the suspected shooter. The suspect had a previous run-in with law enforcement, including a bomb threat in 2021.
Robert Hansen, the FBI agent turned traitor, died in his prison cell in southern Colorado today. Hansen had been kept at the Supermax federal prison in Florence since 2002 while serving 15 life sentences for one of the most damaging espionage cases in American history. Hansen began to spy for the Soviet Union in 1979, only 3 years after joining the FBI. He received $1.4 million in cash and diamonds for information that he gave to the Soviets and then the Russians. He was finally arrested in 2001. The Federal Bureau of Prisons say they found Hansen unresponsive in his prison cell this morning, tried to revive him but could not. Hansen was 79 years old.
If you have not turned in your ballot for Denver's mayoral election, you have until 7 p.m. tomorrow night. By tomorrow night or sometime this week, we should know who will be Denver's next mayor. It's down to Kelly Brough and Mike Johnston, 2 centrist candidates with deep experience. The 2 finalists have very similar policies and views on those policies. About 21% of voters have cast their ballots so far. If you're still not sure which way you want to go, we can help. We have a voter guide on 9news.com. If you'd like to read about either candidate, just scan the QR code. We'll also hear from Brough and Johnston on their final push. That's coming up at 6 o'clock tonight on Next with Kyle Clark. And join us tomorrow night for 9 News at 9 and 10. We'll have full election results plus analysis as the votes get counted.